Magic mirror on the wall, which Batman movie bests them all?
I shall look so you may see.
Hello everyone and welcome to my movie shelf. Today we'll be going over Batman Mask of the Phantasm, which some Bat fans consider the best Batman movie ever made. My own favorite will always be Batman Returns, but I do understand the sentiment if that's how you personally feel. Now, let's jump into some of the characters that make up this animated feature. Firstly, even though it's a minor role with no real importance to the film, I want to shout out the amazing Arleen Sorkin. She recently passed away back on August 24th at the age of 67. And anyone who's a fan of the original Batman the Animated Series knows just how important she was to the franchise. Not only was she the first actress to voice and portray Harley Quinn when she made her debut during the cartoon, but the character itself was loosely based on a role of hers from Days of Our Lives, Calliope Jones. After watching The Princess Bride, Arleen wanted to act out a dream sequence, so the show wrote her a scene where she performs dressed up as a jester. That combined with her natural bubbly personality, and you can see how it was spun into the character Harley. Next up is the ever-reliable Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. as Alfred. He's Bruce's emotional rock, and just like on the show, he's always there to calm the waters whenever it seems like Bruce is about to go over the edge into the deep end. He's the heart of the family, yet still isn't afraid to get a little sassy every now and then if it seems Bruce isn't getting the message. On to Dana Delany's performance as the complicated love interest, Andrea Beaumont. She's the daughter of a high-class financier in Gotham that deals directly with the elites of the city and occasional crime boss as well. While trying to deal with her father's troubled past and Bruce being driven by his own dark secrets, it's not exactly easy for them to have a normal relationship. Thankfully, Andrea is actually interesting and doesn't just come off as another damsel in distress. Plus, the performance from Dana is really well done. As for the big bad of this tale, we're introduced for the first time to the Phantasm. There is a small mystery around their identity, but it's not overly difficult to figure out or follow along with, so don't worry. Even though Mask of the Phantasm is an original storyline, and the Phantasm is an original character, the overall design is not. Much of the inspiration comes from another villain Batman has faced off against before, in the Reaper. As you can see in this comparison, many of the design features have carried over, such as the partial skull-like mask, a hooded cloak that goes over the shoulders, and another big one is the scythe-like weapon on their hand. I'm not really familiar at all with the Reaper myself, but Batman Year 2 came up a lot during my research. And quick side tangent, every time I see Batman with a regular gun, it just looks so off to me. Like, I understand it's supposed to be the gun that was used in the murder of his parents, which he's now using to stop crime. But damn does it look weird to me. There have been many identities behind the Reaper mask, but the three main people I could find there were Judson Caspian, a wealthy socialite slash vigilante like Bruce, whose wife was killed by criminals during the 1950s, so he seeks revenge by hunting down anyone evil in Gotham and murdering them with his scythe. After him comes Benjamin Gruener, a German Jewish doctor that was also a Holocaust survivor. In an effort to deal with all the trauma forced upon him during the war, he assembles an alias that's meant to resemble a Grim Reaper. Wanting to inflict the same trauma back on those that wronged him, he uses his new persona to even the scales. There's also a comic run in which Black Mask unfreezes him from a cryosleep to fight against Batman. Lastly, the strangest person to don the costume was Joseph Chilton III, aka Joe Chill Jr. That's right, the son of the guy who shot and killed Batman's parents once wore the identity, attempting to kill him for the death of his own father, the original Joe Chill. Remember to like and subscribe for more TV and movie related content. But more importantly, let me know down below what the things you love about the movie are, because I want to hear them. Enough about the Reaper though, we're here for the Phantasm, a dark relentless angel of death that set out on one simple mission: kill everyone that's on their list or in their way. The character's voice work is done by longtime actor Stacy Keach, that you'll probably recognize from a thing or two over the years. He also provides the vocals for Andrea's father, Carl Beaumont. The Phantasm is a criminally underrated villain that recently came back in the Batman Catwoman comic. I can't be the only one ready for them to make a live-action debut. In my opinion, the character would fit in perfectly with the Matt Reeves version of Batman. It's time to bring Phantasm to the general viewing audiences, however WB sees fit. And how could any animated Batman movie be even close to perfect without the perfect tones of Kevin Conroy's voice as the Cape Crusader we all know and love? All the subtle emotions he brought to Bruce and Bats on the show, he brings here to the same effect but is turned up to 11. There's not much more to say about Kevin's Batman that hasn't already been said a million times. It's everything you want. May the man rest in peace. The polar opposite to Conroy's Batman is Mark Hamill's Joker, and just like every time Hamill's ever taken on the role beforehand, he gives us everything he has, giving the clown prince of crime his theatrical yet menacing persona. They also use one of my favorite methods of showing just how dangerous the Joker really is. By taking a group of the big bads in charge, whether it be some crooked political leaders pulling the strings or the head of different crime families controlling from behind the scenes, where Joker will just walk in and take over the agenda for his own broken reasons. Usually a few people die in the process while making it known neither side is safe from a maniac like him. Two movies have used this tactic quite well. Each time it involved mob bosses, the first being Tim Burton's Batman. When Jack Nicholson's version hosts a meeting where he's declared that he's taking over the entire operation, after one boss refuses, he uses a hand zapper to cook the man alive. Then his goons rush in and put all the other bosses at gunpoint, taking control. Then it was used again in The Dark Knight, where Heath Ledger bursts into a secret meeting the criminals are holding after he's robbed their bank for millions of dollars. He then proceeds to kill one of their henchmen with a pencil, and right when they think he's trapped, he opens his jacket to reveal a series of grenades tied together while jingling the string up and down, allowing him to escape. Each time it shows how no one is safe with the Joker. But before you think it's just another mashup of crazy bad guys and heroes with no quit, know that this is also a movie with heart too, including a dark love story where Bruce isn't sure he's capable of being married to a woman he loves, with the weight of the promise he made his parents after their passing to protect innocence as Batman. This is a very powerful story that speaks to just how elite the writing on Batman the Animated Series was for its time. They even managed to fit a few scenes into the movie with flashbacks that serve as a de facto origin story for this version of Bruce becoming Batman that doesn't feel out of place. In fact, it's almost like an extra short story put in on top of what's already in the process of taking place and shows you how his character was shaped. Then there's the whole final sequence. No spoilers obviously, but it takes place in an old dilapidated World of Tomorrow fairgrounds, with a miniature city that really reminds me of the 1927 black and white film, Metropolis. I've always enjoyed when films do that to avoid using CGI, or back before that was even an option. The showdown's location makes them look like kaijus or something, and if I'm being honest, Batman kind of has some serious Godzilla energy during it all. I think it's one of the more visually interesting face-offs in Batman history, and is a great addition to the film. As for the soundtrack, it takes everything Danny Elfman magically crafted into two Tim Burton-made movies and expands upon it even more. But let's be clear, this isn't the work of his. For this, we turn to a lesser-known composer, the late Shirley Walker. She has a lot of credits in the music departments of shows and movies I'm sure you've heard of before, but some where she took the lead were the HBO animated Spawn series and movie, multiple Final Destination films, and all the work she did for Batman the Animated Series, she then continued through her work on Batman Beyond. If you have the time, go look at her IMDB page, which I'll link in the description for you. There's still so much more to this movie that I didn't even go over. If you're a fan of the franchise and still haven't seen it somehow, just go find it somewhere and watch it as soon as possible. But those were just some of the reasons why Mask of the Phantasm is basically a near-perfect Batman movie. For me, at least. But what did all of you think about it? And are there any Easter eggs I missed? If so, throw them down in the comment section. Anyways, thanks for watching and be well. Oh, and if you'd like, you can click somewhere over there to watch a previous video of mine.